So I'd like to welcome you to this latest recording as part of the NextGen Solutions portal. I'm Bob Evans and I'm the Pre-Sales and Solutions Director for IBM Partner Ecosystem in EMEA. And today I'm delighted to welcome Mark Nicholas from Bell Integration, who will be presenting their vClarus solution. So Mark, over to you for today's session.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for that introduction. So I'm Mark Nicholas. I'm the Sales Director here at Bell Integration. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is a little bit about Bell and also something specific around vClarus. So vClarus is a solution that Bell uses here to help our customers migrate to the cloud, including the IBM cloud. So first of all, let me just give you a very brief introduction to who Bell are and what Bell does. So Bell was started in 1996 as a small PC reseller, and since then we've grown organically and through a number of acquisitions to a 550 strong business today that operates across Europe, across the Far East, and in places in the US as well. And Bell's really got four main capabilities that I want to talk to you about here. And all of those capabilities are geared around reducing our customers' cost, reducing our customers' risk, and increasing agility for our customers. The first of those capabilities is our Transact service. So we provide the ability for our customers to rent IT hardware following the acquisition of Hamilton Rentals that Bell did back in 2017. Customers can also procure hardware and software from us, and we even have a procurement management service which allows customers to outsource their long tail spend, their non-strategic spend to Bell. Secondly, we've got a transformation capability. So this is all about helping customers run projects and programs. And this is really where the vClarus solution sits as part of our cloud and workload migration and cloud consulting projects. We also provide help to our customers to optimize things within their data center or optimize things if they're already in the cloud, as well as doing things like workspace optimization, Windows 10 updates, desktop refreshes, and email migrations. We have a run service. This is our managed service, and this allows customers to out-task the running of their IT infrastructure to Bell, either just a single component of that or a single application to that, or if they would rather, they can outsource their entire IT infrastructure to Bell and everything that's in between. And then finally, we have a recycle service. So this is where when the IT assets reach the end of their useful life, Bell can recycle those assets by eradicating all of the data off those devices and giving a customer the certificate back to prove the data's gone. And then secondly, we can sell off those assets and give the customer a check for the residual value. Or if there's no residual value, then we can dispose of those hardware items ecologically soundly. And again, we give a customer a certificate back to prove that that's gone as well. So what does all this mean? It means that Bell can provide a complete cradle to grave service across the entire lifespan of the customer's IT needs. But let's talk specifically now about vClarus and what it is. So vClarus is something that we've developed over more than a decade here at Bell to really help with the challenges that our customers are faced with when they do a cloud migration. And oftentimes when we talk to customers about moving to the cloud, there's lots of fours going to the cloud. There's lots of opportunities to do consolidation. There's lots of opportunities as part of perhaps a separation or the merging of a business to use that as a great opportunity to move to the cloud and get some of those benefits of the cloud. Or perhaps a bit of a mix of hybrid hosting, some in cloud, some on-prem, to fit with the needs of the business and the applications and the services that are there to be running. However, there's also some problems that sometimes hinder our customers from moving to the cloud or moving everything that they would want to go to the cloud. So some of those things include things like they quite often aren't quite sure of all the requirements that are part and parcel of the existing infrastructure today. And quite often this introduces some transition risks, which in some cases might even outweigh the outcome, where business interruption just becomes too much of an issue and too important for the business to really allow that movement to the cloud in a complete fashion. And then finally, we do find that oftentimes when people are trying to run these projects to move things to the cloud themselves, that actually quite often through a combination of poor governance or lack of experience or lack of understanding, that quite often those projects overrun. And Gartner has told us that in some cases, They see as much as 50% of projects running over time and over budget because customers are trying to do those cloud migrations themselves. So how does vClarus help? Well, the first thing that we do is we use it to assist us with an assessment phase. So we use the tool to enable us to have a complete understanding of what our customers' environments look like today. It really enables us to remove all of the doubt, the unknowns around the interdependencies of those applications and services that are running today, and give the customer really a true understanding of what they have in place today, such that we can then make an informed decision as to how we can move them forward going to the future. And this is all part and parcel really of this discovery and analysis phase that follows on from the initial assessment. We're not using vClarus necessarily to do discovery as you would use some kind of a discovery tool, because vClarus can actually ingest anything that already exists. So where there's instances that the customer's already got discovery analysis and probing tools, we can ingest information from that. We can also ingest information from Word documents and spreadsheets and normalize all that data to give the customer a complete picture of their environment today. And the reason why that's really important is because quite often we find you're just a firewall rule away from not spotting everything within your infrastructure. Or in many cases, you need to really talk to the business to understand the importance of certain applications, whether that be importance at certain times in the month or certain times in the quarter. And all of this is part and parcel of the discovery and the analysis phase that we do as part of this initial step for vClarus. So by the time that we've done that, we've got a by service and by application complete mapping and understanding of what the customer's got. And that flows all the way through from a business point of view to the different components, to the infrastructure and where it's physically sat within the customer's environment, right the way down to the actual data center, which rack is it sat in, which you within that rack it's sat in, and all of the above. And this really gives us a complete picture that means as we start to prepare the migration, we now know exactly which applications and services have to go together, which of them can be separated, and which of those can go along later. Then we move on to the design and the planning phase. So again, vClarus helps us do the actual migration strategy where we work out, are we just going to simply lift and shift those applications? Are we going to use it as an opportunity to re-platform those applications? And also, and quite importantly, where are we going to move those applications and services to? So it really helps with the understanding as to how we're going to move, what are we going to move, and in what order are we going to move, building that schedule. So the other thing that we can do with vClarus is use it to establish where we're going to move these workloads to, these applications and these services to. And in order to do that, we've actually imported all of the catalogs from the major cloud providers. So this includes the IBM cloud, as well as other public cloud providers. And this enables us to feed all this information through as part of the details that we established as part of discovery into a decision engine, so that vClarus now can provide us with exact details as to which are the best cloud environments for us to position this to, and indeed which are the product sets within those cloud environments that are ideally suited for these applications and these services. So by the time we get through the end of this process with all the recommendations and options at the end of it, we know exactly where our workloads, applications and services are going to go to, which running order they need to be done in, all the interdependencies around that. So we've got a complete project plan and the detail around exactly which services and applications we're going to move at which point in time. So this then enables us to finally do the execution phase. So this is where we go and execute on all the information that we've learned so far. Things happen as part of cloud migrations, which means inevitably we have to reschedule this. But that's not a problem. We can demote tasks to later on in the project plan and replace them with something else that we've already established can be moved on its own as part of all the detailed planning that we've already done. And then finally, underpinning all of this is a governance facility as part of vClarus. So this enables us to provide a dashboard level view to our customer senior stakeholders so that they know exactly where we are within each of the stage, whether it be assessment, the discovery, the analysis, the design and planning, or the actual execution. And as we go through the life of the project as a whole, everything starts to turn green within these environments, so that at a press of a mouse, the customer can get a complete view of where exactly they're at with regards to this project and the status of each element of it. So really, in summary, that's a very high-level overview of vClarus and how we use it to enable our customers move to IBM Cloud and other cloud solutions.
Mark, thank you very much. A really good insight into vClarus. I have a couple of questions, if I may, please, just to round off today's session.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly, I described it as a solution, but there's a number of components to it that you described in this presentation. If I wanted to consume vClarus, perhaps you can say a bit more about how I would go about that.
Yeah, so vClarus is absolutely, as you quite rightly say, a solution. It's a combination of some intellectual property that Bell's developed, as well as some highly trained individuals within our professional services team, and processes that we've also developed. So really, it's a combination of those three things. And the great news is whenever you use Bell to do a cloud migration, effectively vClarus will be engaged and used as part of that engagement.
Okay, fantastic. And then perhaps very important, I think, for potential clients watching, perhaps you could just recap it once again on the main benefits for a client of vClarus.
Yep, so there's a number of key benefits. The first thing is really helping our customers in particular with legacy environments really understand exactly what they've got, really understand all the interdependencies of that, so that there's nothing to catch you out later on in the project. The second thing is helping you decide on exactly where those workloads and solutions are best suited within a cloud environment, and giving you precisely which products within those cloud environments are best suited to host it. And then finally, the ability to do that migration with the confidence of being able to dynamically reschedule and also provide that governance information back to senior stakeholders within the customer so that they know exactly where they're at each stage within that project. And overall, this means that when we execute on vClarus, we typically do it as a fixed outcome, fixed price piece of work, because we've got the confidence that we can manage it to time and to budget.
Okay, that's excellent. And that's really a very clear set of benefits. So thank you for sharing those, Mark. So that's the end of today's session. Let me thank Mark once again for a great presentation on vClarus. I hope you found it interesting. If you have, please do share it with your colleagues, and please do look out for future recordings as part of the NextGen Solutions portal. So with that, I'll close today's session. And Mark, thank you once again.